hear it. So TBM 1.0, we're designing, talking about ideas for 2.0. You guessed, maybe you already heard that there's a talk about using a handheld device. How does that strike you? Good, bad, and different?
I think great. I mean, if it's not heavy enough or...
Yeah, it's about 5 pounds.
5 pounds?
5 pounds. So doing an image like what you were doing here a moment ago, and by the way, there would be no iPad app either anymore. It would just be the device.
The device itself. I
So
think it would be easier.
If I'm going to use my camera as an example, it might be something like this, where you...
If you have the camera lens that would be wide enough.
Yeah.
Because for instance, I'm pretty tall, you're pretty tall, but for someone who's shorter, and you have a large person on the table, you need as much as distance, right?
Yeah.
As you possibly can.
Yeah.
So there is only so much we can do with lowering the table to gain that distance.
Right.
But for someone short or who can only hold the device this height rather than up here, you just want to make sure you have
A wide enough
a
lens.
wide enough lens.
So the choice of lens would be an important factor for when we're doing it. Okay.
But I think it would be a lot easier because, oh, and another thing to mention, if I hold it above my head, how can I see?
There's the camera tilt, the
So you
screen
can-
tilts down.
Screen, okay.
Yeah.
So that would be easier because I think it will be easier than, because if you noticed moving the device, sometimes depending on what direction you move it, it's backwards than what you're actually seeing.
I see.
So sometimes you just kind of guess what direction you want to move it until you actually move it to the right direction.
Right.
It happens all the time.
Yeah.
If you want to move it because you look at over here, and you want to move it, you want to see more of her head, but you realize you're going towards the feet.
Yeah.
Because
Especially in Highlight 10 because it's mirrored.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's another thing. So I think doing this will be easier, faster.
And remind me when you're doing doing the pictures, it's usually 10 minutes,
5 minutes.
5 minutes.
It just depends on how quickly we get them turned over.
Yeah. So and most of that time is for them to reposition. Right. So in theory, holding the camera above your head might only be for a short 15 seconds at a time.
Yeah.
Type
Yeah,
of-
because the actual image is literally a few seconds.
Yeah.
Right? But what takes time is the draping, is turning over and all that. That's
Yeah.
what takes time in that 5-minute window.
Okay.
Place it inside,
Yeah.
undrape it, pick it up.
I mean, you saw how much time I spent on just moving this
Yeah.
back and forth until I had the right frame.
And I presume that moving back and forth is, see, as I'm trying to put myself in the shoes of the guest, that might be interesting and entertaining because it's taking a while and it's kind of cool, maybe, I don't know, but from your perspective, it's probably like,
I mean, and it's the same, it brings me back to the same question of the battery. Right now we're dealing with this and this.
yeah,
What if we just have to deal with this?
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah. So it sounds like you guys, you two in particular might be in support of having a handheld. That might work better for you.
I think it would be simple.
Do you think that I don't know how many of you there are that do TBMs?
Most of us.
Most of us?
Yeah.
Do you think that
I think so.
have you guys talked amongst each other and where have you heard this before that there was a handheld?
Oh, we talked about it since day one.
Okay.
Yeah, there were like rumors or conversations
Okay.
about what if we had, something we can hold. Because it's not just for us, it's what about fitness? What about
Yes.
the one that they do? And, it's something you can take with you anywhere, really.
Yeah.
Rather than being obligated to be in Holly 5 or 10.
Right. So
It's
other
something we
practitioners can
hold
use it.
And use it on one-on-ones. And in theory, if I go further in that thought, we could do TBM sessions in every single Holly when you think about
Yes.
it, rather than just 5 and 10.
Limited.
Yeah.
Right now, we're limited.
Right.
So if it's a handheld device, we can be anywhere. Really.
Yeah. I think that in practice, because of I've seen the devices and they work and whatever, but they're very expensive. So I suspect that we probably would be in a position where those cameras would be back at spa services or spa, whatever it's called, support, and you'd have to do that run, but you wouldn't have the setup
you do
time.
it anyway, so that won't be a big change for
Okay.
us.
Yeah.
But I think it would make things easier and more simple if we don't need to do
Okay.
this.
Okay. So that's interesting for me.
Stressful.
And less stressful, there you go. Yeah, for you and your guest.
Yes.
Particularly for you, that's what we care about mostly. That's what I care about mostly. Guests are
You take
your
care about us, we'll take care about them.
guests are your problem. Yeah, you are my problem. So good. Okay,
We just want it
to work.
working and ready and not stress about whether or not, you know, hold
gonna
our
work.
breath before the
Yeah.
service.
I mean, it's a joke between us now. There is like a sense of anxiety of who has the TBM and what's gonna happen today.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really sorry that that's the case. I wish we can do better. But I'll tell you what, going back to that power cable situation, I think that if we can figure out a way to make that happen, that would be a good thing. So,
Yeah, I agree.
okay. So I want to reiterate one more thing. You said that handheld thing has been a wish. Maybe I'm putting that word in your mouth, but you guys have been talking about that since day
Some
one.
of us, I mean, have
Yeah.
heard of it or rumors or.
But
what if.
in a way that you would like it.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah,
I
okay.
think it would be really cool, actually.
Okay.
To be able to be, do it
Okay. Cool.
in every holiday. And do it, yeah.
Yeah, you won't be limited.
It
Because right now,
opens up
so for booking
possibilities.
purposes, for Azure, for example, when she, not that you need to know about this, but when she moves appointments, because only some of us do it, and it just limits her work too as far as balancing the books.
Yeah.
And moving appointments here and there, and like the more limitations we have as far as what treatments you do and what holiday and with what practitioner.
It's less flexibility.
Less flexibility, yeah.
From the
So
scheduling.
if we have something that we can just take with us, get any holiday, anywhere really.
Is there anything other than the fact that this machine is here? Is there anything special with Holiday 5 and 10? No.
Just as any other holiday.
Okay.
It was just half and half, like.
I see.
No.
Yeah. Is it the walking distances? Yeah.
But I'm
Depends
thinking
where
like, Anne could use it in yoga,
There's
fit,
so
I
many,
mean, fitness, really anywhere we
Yeah.
can use it.
Yeah. It
Cool.
Really be.
So we're working on it. That's something that's going on.